Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're gonna talk about one of my favorite horror movies. I don't actually own this one. Found it on Amazon Prime. It's called Sleepaway Camp. Just to give you a premise, yes, it is basically Friday the 13th, but without Jason. So, for those of you who are real big horror fans like me, you know that the original Friday the 13th wasn't actually Jason, it was his mother, but it's kind of a similar situation, only instead of being set in that Friday the 13th universe, it's completely different. It's still teenagers at camp getting murdered. It stars Felissa Rose as Angela Baker, Jonathan Tiersten as Ricky Thomas, and a whole bunch of other people, but those are kind of your big main characters. Another main character is Karen Fields as Judy. Judy's a stuck-up bitch. Just leave it at that. And actually, she has one of the more interesting kills of the whole franchise. The murderer takes a curling iron and shoves it up her lady parts, to put it that way. And it's not on screen, but you see her shadow on the wall, and it tells you absolutely everything you need to know without seeing it. So yeah, it's weird. One thing this movie offers is some great makeup effects done by one kill is with bees. The killer cuts open a screen window of the now the word, we'll call it the bathroom. I was going to use its real phrase, latrine thing. Yeah, there we go. And drops the beehive on a guy going to the bathroom. And what makeup artist Ed French did was add a whole bunch of bee sting holes up the victim's arm. It's bad. It's disgusting. And I don't mean, when I say bad, I don't mean it's hard to look at. I mean it's like brutal to look at. Like you feel what this guy went through. Another is in the beginning of the movie, the head chef is killed when he has a bucket of boiling hot water dumped on him, and the burn effects are phenomenal. Another true piece of gross body horror you don't want to look at. This movie also has a bit of a comedic charm to it. They're playing baseball, and this minor character tells Ricky, says, "Eat shit and die, Ricky." Ricky responds, "Eat shit and live, Bill." Eat shit and live. Don't know what it means. Funny as hell, though. I will tell you that much. I really enjoy that. I can't tell you what it means. I don't know what he's trying to get at there, but man, is that funny. The movie actually had a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than I thought. It has an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, that's higher than I thought it was going to be, and it's kind of the same situation as Ghostbusters from yesterday. It has a higher score than I expected. On a budget of $350,000, it made $11 million. That's damn good. So I'll give them that. From a cinematic standpoint, this movie has a lot of first-person POV shots for the killer, because they hide who the actual killer is throughout the entire movie. It's not even revealed until the very end who the killer is, and I'll get to that in a second. But to me, the POV shots are really an homage to one of my favorite horror movies, Halloween. You know, there's a 2-minute long first-person long take, where what a long take is the camera just doesn't stop going. Everything you see, there's no editing to it. So you get a lot of that. but I don't know if they're particularly long takes or they're just POV shots, but to me it felt very like Halloween in that regard. The acting is pretty good. Felissa Rose is good. Jonathan Tiersten's good. You know, they play their characters with such energy. And Felissa Rose's character, Angela, she barely talks throughout the whole movie. She does a lot of acting with her eyes and her facial expressions, so that to me is very good. Karen Fields is great as Judy, and like I said, Judy is a stuck-up bitch. And it's actually Karen Fields' only credit on IMDb, and IMBD, sorry. To me, it is what it is, but she's still good. I don't personally know what happened, why she stopped acting after this movie, so I didn't look into it. Probably should have. Maybe I'll start doing something like that. But I'd be curious to know why. There's some weird performances in this. Mike Kellen, he plays the camp owner. It's strange, but it's not awful. There are some very awful performances that I'll talk about. But what's strange about this is he has his good moments, and he's got his bad moments. And one of the weirder moments, first of all, he makes a date with his, 16 or 17-year-old camp counselor, Meg, who is then promptly murdered. And when he discovers the body, he's like, "Not you, Meg." Kind of just like that. And, it's very laughable, and I don't think that's what they intended. But then he jumps into this, really long speech proclaiming that it was Ricky. He knows it was Ricky. It's not Ricky. But the bad performances are everyone else who plays the counselors. I have been to camp before. Never once did a counselor pick me up and toss me into a lake and not face any negative repercussions for it. I don't understand how they got away with it, but they did. Hey, who am I to judge? I'm just the guy trying to make a YouTube happen. I already talked about how creative the kills get. At the end, there's a decapitation that happens to Ricky's best friend. We don't see it. His head just kind of falls out of the killer's lap. It's weird. So why did I pick this for Bad Movie Week? A lot of people don't like this one because of its ending. And I mean that because at the end of the movie, we walk, Ronnie and the police officer, Ronnie is one of the staff members, walk up to the killer sitting on a beach. The killer stands up, and we get a flashback. Now, the flashback includes the worst performance I've ever seen out of this character named Aunt Desiree. Aunt Desiree is played by... Oh, did I say? Oh, her name is Aunt Martha. I put Aunt Desiree. Her actress's name is Desiree Gold. I put Aunt Martha in my review for Instagram. I'm sorry, guys. I screwed that up. Well, that's bad. Anyway, back to the flashback. So, it cuts to Aunt Martha, who... she's just very weird. She uses a lot of Shakespearean acting choices and not the dialogue, but the way she does. She moves, she does a lot of these, looking over. Oh no, that won't do it all. It's very weird. So in the beginning, Angela's father and presumably brother are killed in a boating accident. Well, it's revealed that the brother survived, and the aunt turned him into Angela. So, when it cuts back to the present, Angela stands up, and you see his lower regions as well. Long hair, penis wide out in the open. It's not okay, in my opinion. That's a very weird twist ending, and I'm glad they fixed it for the 3 sequels, 4 sequels. This movie's got a very weird history. There's a sequel. There's two sequels. There's Unhappy Campers and Teenage Wasteland, and then there's a third sequel called Return to Sleepaway Camp. And then I found a fifth movie that's supposedly supposed to come out in 1992 that didn't end up coming out, and they released in 2012. Just the footage. It wasn't actually theatrically released. So I don't know how many sequels there actually are. Are there 3? Are there 4? I don't know. So yeah, I get why people don't like that, because I'm not a huge fan of it. But it's not exactly the worst ending in movie history. But yeah, so I really want to give this movie a 10 out of 10. I think, ending aside, it's so good, but between the ending, the mixed acting, and everything, it's really a 6 out of 10, but it can be very redeemable in my opinion, which is something I forgot to mention about Ghostbusters, but I think I kind of beat that horse into the ground. So, tonight for Instagram, I will be reviewing 2009's Friday the 13th, so you guys will get that video tomorrow here on YouTube. I have my thoughts on that one. I think it's okay. It's not great, and there are people like me who think it's okay. There's people out there who think it's the best Friday the 13th film. There's people out there who think it's the worst Friday the 13th film. I see all of their opinions. I really do. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about Sleepaway Camp, other than I've been really excited to talk about this movie. I discovered it a few months ago. I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers, James A. Janice, over on Dead Meat, and he covered these, and I'd never heard of them. So I was like, well, let's give it a look. Wow, I was blown away. I'm like, well, I gotta actually find this movie now. And when I did, I was so excited, so I watched it, and I was like, well, it's time to kick off this whole movie review thing I want to do. So I'm glad to have finally gotten one of my favorite movies out of the way. There's still so many to go. I have a lot of favorite movies. My friends will tell you that if you ever meet them, and they're probably watching this going, yeah, he does. He says everything's his favorite. They're not wrong. I do say everything is my favorite movie. I can't help it. But until tomorrow with Friday the 13th, I'm Luke, and I will see you later.